Hi and welcome to On the Limit, the Asia Pacific motorsport show that brings you a lot of what's great in the region's racing and rallying. This week we're at the southern tip of Japan's main island, Honshu, for the 7th of 8 rounds in the Autobax Japan GT Championship. At this point of the series, it's a balancing act. The title fights are wide open. Half a dozen or more GT500 driver lineups still in with the chance of the championship. This is where the system of weight and air restrictor handicaps in the Autobax Japan GT Championship really begins to bite. Where the people who've been doing all the winning are the ones now paying the price, with up to 90 kilos of penalty weight on board their cars. It forces them to stop thinking about winning, focus instead on something less. Series leaders Hironori Takeuchi and Yuji Tashikawa are sitting on a slim 4-point buffer. And starting way back in 15th, toting 90 kilos of handicap weight.
I say idealistically we say 5th, but I'd say maybe realistically it'd be 8th. We want to put off weight, but we still want to put on points.
So what is the big deal about finishing 5th? Cars finishing 5th or worse, you see, lose 20 kilos of their weight handicap for the following round. It's a cool and cloudy day here at this Mine circuit in southern Japan. The temperature's down to around 13 degrees Celsius, but it hasn't put off a crowd of around 45,000 here looking for some hot action. And that's the promise of what we're about to get as the field comes around for the start of the second to last round of the Autobax Japan GT Championship. Ahead of them, 2 hours of racing, 76 laps, 250 kilometres. And poleman Furman leads them away, Sajira off on the right. Ito takes the inside line, travelling on board with him, and Furman's locked it up. And Tsuchiya, who qualified second, now goes through to take the lead. Oh, there's trouble back further in the pack. You see bits flying off the McLaren. Down the inside goes Kaneishi in the red Autobax Honda, and I think he's turned it around. He has. Oh, there's mayhem here in the second corner. Both McLarens off. Takeuchi off as well, and that McLaren of Kurosawa has copped a hit from Richard Lyons. The GT300 field coming through now. Luckily, the way has been cleared before they arrive there. Here's how it looked to Satoshi Motoyama coming through from 10th on the grid. Kaneishi goes down the inside in that red NSX, turns it around, then everybody goes in every direction. Motoyama just picks his way through the middle of it. But look at the gap the leader's got. Tsuchiya out front of Furman. Daisuke Ito in the next spot. Then it's Shigekazu Wakasaka, and this fight between Motoyama and Manaburo Ito ahead as Arito locks it up in the Supra, and that's going to let Motoyama move up one more place. Next behind them, Takuya Kurosawa in the Zent Supra, and Eric Comas in the other Nissan, with his young protege Benoit Treloya next behind him. Out front though, Tsuchiya, no problems whatsoever, except maybe Furman is starting to close in just a little bit. In GT300, pole sitter Watanabe still out front of the only other Honda-powered car in the field, the VMAC with Shibahara at the wheel. Next, it's the endless Porsche of Mitsuhiro Kinoshita, and then 2 of the Toyota MRSs, the first one driven by Guts Jonai. Oh, Tsuchiya's got company at the head of the field. Furman suddenly right back on the back of the Supra. Looks like he wants that first place back. Not far behind, Motoyama's now right up on Wakasaka as well. Good fight here too. Ida holding off Hiroki Kato. Oh, big lock up from Hayanari Shimoda. And trouble here for Kurosawa and the Zent Supra. Smothered in smoke. Trouble here too for Treloya. Well and truly beached in that Calsonic Nissan. Well, it comes in threes. Eric Comas is out as well. Shakes his head in disbelief. Was doing well, up from 13th to 8th. Now look at this. It's a three-way fight at the head of the field with Daisuke Ito now joining Furman and Tsuchiya up front. In fact, Ito looks like he's really on a charge. Really no big surprise because in qualifying, these three plus another 14 were very, very close. Travelling on board with Ito as he tracks Furman. Well, he's trying very, very hard, isn't he? Trying down the inside, having a look at all opportunities. Yellow flags there, though, for someone stranded off in the gravel. So he can't make any passing move. They just hold formation. So the pressure builds on Takeshi Tsuchiya out front. We've got a replay here of the VMAC in second place in GT300 under attack and cops a hit from Koji Matsuda in his little MRS. This is on board with Yamano, series leader, on attack here against champs rival Morio Nitta, and that moves him up to 11th. Oh, Furman's on attack too, down the inside of Tsuchiya into turn one. This is where he lost the lead, remember. Oh, catapults out of the corner, tries one side, now trying around the other, but that's blocked by a BMW. So tries the inside and realises there is no way through. Oh, that is why two cars, two of the GT300 spun up there. This fight's still going on as well, Ida versus Kato, and Kato cannot find a way by so far. This is Ito's view of things up front, sitting in third place. It is very, very cold here at Mine today, and they've just got to be a bit careful. And Furman, of course, was saying before the start that for the first 10 laps of the race, he might struggle a bit with that extra weight. But after burning some fuel, he should come right. Oh, someone who is coming right is Matsuda. In that little Project U Crystal MRS, he's now challenging for the lead in GT300. Pulls down the inside of Watanabe. There's the VMAC in the background and the endless Porsche that he goes through. That is brilliant. He came up from 6th place on the grid to take the lead already. Back up front, business as usual. And in 4th place, Wakasaka still holding off Motoyama, but only just. Next behind them is Naoki Hattori in the McLaren and Orido in the Denso Sard Supra. Here's second place in GT300 and there's third and fourth. The VMAC with Guts Jonai in the MRS now close behind him. And now Yamano's out of the car and out of the race. That's a bit disastrous for the series leaders and Yanagita and team boss Hisami looking pretty dejected. Now we've got Ito, the first of the front runners to pull into the pits. Stops from third place. Ryo Mishigami climbs into the Honda. Pressure's on the crew at the moment to see if they can make the difference in this race. Oh, and now Tsuchiya's in to hand over to Gardner. So in from the lead, let's see where these two end up. Furman's still out there at the moment as these two resume. Oh, look at that, cold tyres as Gardner puts the pedal to the metal. Here's Ida in the SO Ultraflow car. In lap traffic, but still choosing to stay out at the moment. So Gardner gets underway, and there's the gap. There's Mishigami, so he has got the lead away, or he will have the lead away once everyone else has their stops. So Gardner just tiptoeing around very slow through that corner on the cold tyres, and now he turns it around. Oh, this is disastrous. Mishigami's already gone by. Others threaten to as Gardner tries to get it in reverse and get it back onto the racetrack. This could be the making and breaking of the race right here. So Wayne Gardner stuck there against the fence. I don't think there's any great damage to the Toyota. Now he gets it in reverse. He will be very upset with himself. You can see Ida coming round now in the background, and also Ralph Furman, who still has stayed out. Also threatening to come by. There's Tsuchiya. Well, a bit of a wry smile from him. And now Ralph Furman is flying, really trying to make the most of his light fuel load and eke out an edge on the others, so that when Sugio Matsuda takes over the car, he will still be in the lead. So Ralph Furman charging. This is Ryo Mishigami, a man who missed the first rounds of this series after a big crash in Formula Nippon. Well and truly back in a starring role here as Michael Krum waits in the pits for Satoshi Motoyama to come in from second place. There he is, Motoyama in. Krum, the German driver, been in Japan a long time, very successful in Formula Nippon and the JGTC. Sits inside as new rubber goes on. Bit of damage on the front there, no doubt, from that first lap. And Krum gets underway. Here's Furman, still cranking around, trying to put a gap on the rest. This is on board with Michael Krum. Oh, first corner, he's going wide, he's in the gravel. So just like Wayne Gardner, caught out by the cold tyres in these very, very cold temperatures. Now the VMAX in from second place in GT300 for its pit stop. Oh, and the McLaren is out by the look of it. GT300 leader Matsuda's in now to hand over to Masaoki Nagashima. So most of the field had their stops, and here finally is Furman coming in to hand over to Sugio Matsuda. Matsuda climbs on board. Furman's done his job through the first half. Now it's up to the crew, and shortly it'll be down to Matsuda. Away he goes. Now let's see where he rejoins. Looking down the straight, I think that's Mishigami, lights blazing, yes it is. So he's going to get out ahead of Mishigami in the number 16 Honda. So the two Hondas should be first and second on the road now. Given Gardner's dramas, something flies off one of the cars there. Just debris, now Mishigami. He's caught him on cold tyres. There's nothing that Matsuda can do to fight back. Look at that, he's got no grip whatsoever through the first couple of turns. And Mishigami, of course, has been out there for a few laps. So he cranks away while Matsuda's still fighting with that car, trying to keep it on the track. Now there's others looming up behind him as well. Oh, he's going off. Look at that, just got no turn in whatsoever. Now doomed to drive through the gravel. This could be very, very costly. He was all set up to take over the lead when everyone else stopped. Now we don't know where he is in the order. Certainly Michael Krum was not very far back. So Matsuda resumes. It all hangs in the balance. Matsuda's still forced to drive quite slowly. Krum looming up right behind him. He's not going to be able to fight him off, that's for sure. And Krum comes right around the outside through the S's. And Hidetoshi Mitsusada in that 100 Raybrigg Honda also lining up behind to try and get by. So Matsuda in trouble in these opening moments of his stint, that's for sure. Caught out just as Wayne Gardner was and several other drivers. Now it's Masahiko Kondo comes by in that red Supra. Oh, and Matsuda locks it up and slams into Mitsusada, turns him around and he gets hit by Taniguchi. Back in the pits, Furman and the Nakajima team seem incredulous at this turn of events. Mitsusada must be furious. He's second in the standings. He was fighting for fifth a second ago. Now he could be effectively out of the fight. So he comes into the pits. The team will see what they can do to get him back out there. Oh, and now Sebastian Philippe caught out as well. He rejoins, but this has been a very, very trying day for the team that won the last race. Look at the damage on that little Honda. They were in the wars right from the second turn of the race, and it continues now. Here's the last stopper among the front runners. This is Wakasaka dropping out of a temporary lead and handing over to Masahiko Kageyama. So now Mishigami is in the lead and on his own. The dramas for Gardner and Matsuda having taken them completely out of the front fight. All credit to Mishigami for keeping that little Honda on the track when he went out on cold tyres as well. This is sixth place on back. Jeremy Dufour ahead of Gardner, then Kageyama. Seiji Aaron knocks Kageyama into a spin. So Kageyama starts his driving stint with dramas as well. And in GT300 after the stops, the Sigma and Project U Toyotas, these are the two out front and in a big battle. And Masaoki Nagashima's got the lead away from Kei to Sawa. But look at Sawa's having none of it. He's coming straight back at him. So these two that haven't been all that competitive during the season suddenly come on strong. Probably the main thing Mishigami has to watch now is the lap traffic. Just make sure he doesn't get caught up with anyone as he dives under the Porsche. Oh, and it's the same in reverse too, because look at Sawa has to lock it all up. to avoid Wakasaka's Supra as he goes by, and also Nagashima now goes very slowly to keep out of the way, and that makes him vulnerable to an attack for the lead. And there he goes. Sawa goes down the inside and takes the lead back again. So traffic is really one of the big hazards you have to contend with inside the JGTC, where lap times differ by 6 or 7 seconds around a track like this. So Sawa leads GT300. Nagashima in second place. Oh, there's something broken on that car, and so he spears straight off and into the wall. So that is going to be the end of the race for Nagashima. What a disaster. Such a brilliant race they've put in. Nagashima is out of the car and back in pit lane. Matsuda is heartbroken. No such problems for Michael Krum, running second, looking for the second podium for the new Skyline in just 3 races. So Keita Sawa now leading and looking back down the track to the VMAC. That is the lead gap he holds, so a very good one it is. The VMAC with Shogo Mitsuyama at the wheel, running in second again now in what's been a real up and down day. Keita Sawa, oh, there's a problem on the front left of that car, and the VMAC goes through for the lead, and Sawa, it looks like he's going to be out of the race. Drives straight into the gravel, and he's stuck. What a disaster, 2 in a row in just a few laps for the Toyota MRSs. And the benefactor of that, although he was already getting pretty close, is the VMAC. For Sawa, just despair. The body language says it all. So the VMAC, we're looking at the lead he holds now. Shogo Mitsuyama goes through. And here comes Adam Wilcox, the British driver, in the Rodeo Drive Porsche. That's a great performance from them, up from 16th on the grid. So Ryo Mishigami looking completely untroubled out front in first place. Looks like he's got about a 15-second buffer on Michael Krum, running in second in the Xanavie Nissan. Here's third place in GT300, the Plus E Porsche, with Kazuyuki Nishizawa now driving. It's taken a beating today as well, as you can see. Out of all this, looking in best shape for the series maybe in the dying stages of this race, is Juichi Wakasaka running 4th in the Esso car. If things stay as they are, Wakasaka and Ida should go into the series lead. On the wall, it looks like the Esso Ultraflow team's getting pretty excited at the prospect, and next door, the Mobil 1 Honda pit. Oh, and here's why Wakasaka's gone past Matsuda. So the Toyota's up to 3rd, the Mobil car's back into 4th, and right behind them, here comes Gardner with Seiji Ara as well, right on his tail. Look at this, Matsuda's suddenly slowed. Don't know what's going on here. Well, maybe I do. I think these guys are playing a bit of a game. They want 5th place. They don't want the points and the weight that goes with 3rd place or 4th place. They want to be back in 5th, where they'll gain 8 points and lose 20 kilos. Look at Furman. These are very tense moments. Also very weird moments. Ida goes through again. Seiji Ara gets ahead of him. No, he doesn't. Bit of a fight here. These guys are going to have to be careful that someone doesn't take someone else out, and they won't have any points. And there, right behind them, Mishigami is coming through to take the checkered flag. So while they to and fro over who was going to finish 4th, 5th, here comes the race leader, Ryo Mishigami, coming through to take the first win of the year for the Mugen Honda team. Checkered flag flies. Daisuke Ito is so happy he could fall off the wall. This will keep his championship chances alive as well going to the final round. Ryo Mishigami, a very happy man. Shogo Mitsuyama should be too, because he's coming through to take the VMAX 3rd win for the year. In the past, this car was dominant. This time it's endured, while faster cars on the day fell out. The race to be slowest between Matsuda and Wakasaka's on again. Matsuda has slowed in the Honda, and Wakasaka's gone ahead, but so too is Ara, so he's lost 2 places. That puts him back to 6th, and that's going to cost him a couple of points if he stays there. The Esso boss on the radio to Wakasaka. Don't know what he'll be telling a bit Furman. I can't tell whether he's unhappy or happy at the turn of events. Probably unhappy, because 2 points have gone begging by not finishing 5th. Wakasaka has taken 4th, Ara is 5th, and Matsuda is 6th. What an incident-packed, highly competitive and strange race. Ito's delighted with this race win, salvaged from an unpromising start to the weekend.
before the start practice.
Yes.
No good machine.
No chance.
Yeah. But Friday, Saturday,
Yep.
very good machine. Yeah.
Gardner's really down on himself for his off-track excursion.
Yeah, it ended okay, obviously on the podium, but really disappointing from my point of view. Spun on new tyres and got no one to blame but myself. Pushing too hard.
I'm very, very happy with the car. The team did a great job. Fantastic pit stop. I mean, Nissan was really, really up to speed today, and a little bit less mistakes, and maybe we could have won it.
So, confirming the results, a win for Daisuke Ito and Ryo Mishigami by 11 seconds ahead of Michael Krum and Satoshi Moriyama. Tsuchiya and Gardner salvage third ahead of Ida and Wakasaka. Seiji Ara and Shinichi Yamaji come home fifth. In GT300, it's a win by 11 seconds as well for Shogo Mitsuyama and Shinsuke Shibahara. Adam Wilcox and Hideshi Matsuda come home second in their Porsche, and Atsushi Yogo and Kazuyuki Nishizawa are third. The results here then put Wakasaka and Ida into the lead of the championship, but just by 2 points ahead of Takeuchi and Tashikawa. Daisuke Ito is third, just 3 points off the lead, and Hidetoshi Mitsusada is fourth. Thurman and Matsuda go to the finale in fifth. In GT300, Shibahara and Mitsuyama hold a 1 point lead over Yamano and Yanagida. Morio Nuta and Shinichi Takagi are third.